All right, just getting started here, setting out traps. This is my fourth set. I'm trying to get this camera back working. Anyway, I'm off the end of this road. I saw a fisher track, or looked like a fisher track. Hard to tell with the way the snow is, but I just made a set here. Almost got stuck. Kind of wet. The ground's pretty wet underneath this stuff. But just I like these dead end roads. They're a pain to get in and out of, but you reach into some country that usually has some pretty good habitat. I think there's a track going in here. I think this is a trail to a bear bait. I didn't actually go down and check, but yeah, the track is going right by here. So here's our box, and we got some beaver meat in the back of that and some long distance call up in the tree. So pretty easy, pretty quick. Just poke in here, set the box, and move along to the next spot. So setting a little bit closer than I would normally because it's late in the season. Deer season just ended yesterday, so there's not going to be as many people out in the woods, which is nice. And we may get a snowstorm at any time that'll have me checking these on snowmobile, so it's nice to have them somewhat close to the road. Still try to hide them a little bit. Well, it's a beautiful sunny afternoon in northern Maine. It's warming up. The clouds went away, the sun came out. It's probably like a little above 32 degrees, just about freezing, maybe a bit above. And it's kind of nice to have the sunshine on you, man. I have finished for the day. I have more boxes and I have lots more places to set, but I have to go home and feed cows. So I got 31 traps set out today. Covered quite a bit of ground. It's pretty decent country for what it is. I'm thinking we'll catch some fur here. I've been seeing a lot of fisher sign. Of course, this is pretty cut over country. It's a little lower elevation. There's some high stuff, and there's actually some good forest patches, but they're surrounded by a lot of heavy cutting. I think there's other trappers that hit this. It looks like everybody's done. If there are other trappers from here from this year, they're not here anymore, because I could find no places where traps were set or anything. And a lot of these roads haven't been traveled in the past week. A lot of the side roads, the main roads are all hit pretty hard by deer hunters. But yeah, I get to the end of this road and I was pretty much done. And I see, you know what, I gotta throw in another set. This is just like open hardwood country. It didn't look like there was really a great spot for a set, but I'm here. I got a box in the back of the truck with the trap in it. Might as well set it. And I can't tell you how many times I've done that in a set that I thought would be worthless or not worth even setting. I come back and that's the one where I've got a marten or a fisher in, so you never know. But yeah, just going through the end of this road in this open hardwood country and just show you where my box is. So pretty typical for a lot of my sets. Pretty good spot to get it up off the back a little bit. We got some beaver meat in the back of the box there. Got no lure in the box on this one. Long distance call right there. And I did a whole combination of different lure setups I use. Because we're getting later in the season, it's really cold. I am using long distance call in all of my sets right now. But I'm not putting lure in the box in all the sets. But I'll sometimes, what I've been doing is, like every other set probably, I'm using Predator or a Birch River beaver lure. Yes, it's a beaver lure, but it works great for marten fisher too. So doing that just to give a little added attractant inside the box. But yeah, I guess that's it. The next time I'm out here, I'm probably gonna be pretty quick to check traps, and then I'm gonna set more. I'll have another truckload of boxes hopefully, and maybe check traps and set 10 or 20 new sets, and check the next time, set 10 or 20 more until we either run out of time or we get a pretty decent line to check and maybe catch a little bit of fur. Tons of things. I think I'm going to do a podcast episode on different thoughts that go through my head in terms of setting habitat locations, macro, micro habitat, what to look for, how I space my sets out, how I'm kind of deciding where to space, what I'm looking for in terms of, you know, the general area I'm going to make a set, and then like the really particular spot that I'm going to set that box on. There's just 1,000 different calculations that are going on in my head, and I wish I could just stop and focus just on having fun and not thinking about it, but I just can't stop. It's one of those things, you just want to get better and want to figure out what works and stuff. So that's part of what makes it fun anyway. But I'm gonna head home, guys, and get back to work on the farm, and I will see you when we're checking traps. Guys, it's the middle of the trapping season, and here I am making up a quadruple batch of long distance call lure. So it's all because of you. Thanks so much for everybody that has purchased the lure, trappingtodaystore.com, and lots of lure purchases, but long distance call has really blown up, and I made more at the beginning of the season than I thought I'd use for the entire season, and we're halfway through and I'm just about sold out. So you keep buying lure, I'll keep making it. That's a great problem to have, and I'll see you back on the Trapline. All right, this is pretty unbelievable. You're not gonna believe it. I don't believe it. Something or someone doesn't want me to trap. So my gas tank fell off the truck a week ago when I went to set traps. $800, and 2 days later I'm back. I got some traps set. I'm going out for the first check, and I start up the truck and I start back down the driveway. I got no power steering. You're not gonna believe this. I saw a weasel here this morning running around the house getting my trapping bait and around the trapping shed. There is blood and fur on where my belt once was, and there's a dead weasel down there. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. There's my belt, and there is a dead weasel. Look at all that blood. This is just, it doesn't make it, I don't know what to say. I was just leaving to go check traps, so clearly that weasel decided to set up shop in the engine of my truck, and when I started up, it was probably standing on one of those pulleys, and the belt wrapped around a weasel, threw itself off all the pulleys, and tore the weasel apart and tore the belt off. And now I got no power steering, no water pump, no alternator, nothing. I guess if you live long enough, you experience just about anything. I'm gonna pull that guy out. Oh, that is just the height of irony, trapper. So there he is, that bugger. I saw him this morning, and I was gonna set a trap for him. He was stealing my bait out of my boxes. Well, apparently I don't need to set a trap anymore, but I gotta try to figure out how to put that belt back on my truck so I can go check traps. Wow. Okay, with a little help from my smartphone, I think I got that back on and routed the right way. Still plenty of weasel blood on that idler, but it looks to be tension. The belt doesn't appear to be chewed up after having a weasel go through it. Hopefully it's all routed on right. Let's see if I can run this son of a gun and go check traps. Let's try starting it up. Fingers crossed. Okay, spinning. Everything appears to be spinning. No real funny noises or anything. We may have dodged a bullet here. Let's see if our power steering works now. Oh, we're back in business. All right, guys, so we get delayed by about half an hour, but it's time to go check traps. We got a little bit of time before dark. Darn weasels, jeez. Okay, we're finally in the woods. A little half-hour delay. I was hoping to get a bunch of traps checked before dark, but it'll be dark in about 45 minutes, so I only get a portion of the line checked. That little weasel delay kind of messed me up. That was quite a deal. So anyway, I'm just getting into this unorganized township, and there's fishers back behind me. I set a trap right around here, not very far from the town line. The reason is I kind of wanted to trap the fishers over there, but that town requires a 3-day check on traps, and just over the line this is a 5-day check, and I just don't have time to come out here every 3 days. So I just set on this side, and hopefully we're still within the home range of that fisher, or those fishers that the neighbors have been seeing. They were telling me about, wanting me to trap them. So anyway, we'll go check this trap here, and then we'll kind of just keep on going right along the line. I'll probably stop and give you guys, you know, a little bit of my thoughts on several different trap checks, just to show you what, I don't know what we'll catch. This is a brand new line for me. I've never trapped marten fisher here, so I don't know what to expect. I'm not super optimistic, but hey, this is gonna be fun. The anticipation of checking traps is, to me, the best part of trapping. So this is exciting, and you never know what you're gonna catch, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it here. I'm gonna pull off on this road. Maybe. The roads are wicked icy. Jeez, sliding all over the place already. All right. I should have probably set right off the main road. I'd kind of just wanted to hide things because there's a lot of traffic around here. Oh, didn't break through that mud puddle. I've been breaking through most of them. Okay. First set, first check. Let's see what we got here. Okay, nice little grove of trees in here. Nothing hit this. Can't quite. Ooh, that smells good. Strong smell of lure. I can't quite tell if there was anything over here. But looks like the bait's still there. So we'll keep on rolling. So these kind of conditions is exactly, this is where my long distance call lure really comes into play and really works, because the conditions that we have this time of year in northern Maine, and I know a lot of you guys deal with, is constant freeze thaw. We get a lot of rain in the fall, rain and snow, and I have struggled for years before I developed this lure to find something that would hold up. I couldn't get anything to hold up, but this lure, I mean, so it's been 4 days since I set this trap, and in that time period we've had temperatures down to about 6 or 8 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had temperatures all the way up to about 40. We've had wind, rain, snow melt, more snow, more freezing, a little bit of rain, more rain, and just everything that northern Maine weather could throw at us. And I walk into this first set, and I'm not even hardly even getting to it. I can smell the long distance call already. So it's working. That's good to know. Good to have a little bit of confidence. Lure doesn't make or break you necessarily, but it certainly helps, and it's good to have confidence in your lure. Okay, I'm gonna go check more traps. Oh, it's a beautiful afternoon on the trapline, just catching the last rays of sunlight for the day, shining on the trees. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, it's nice getting out here. So we'll be checking well after dark. All right, we're at set number 2. We're off on a side road off the main road here. I got a few sets branching out to the ends of these different roads. But I got one in here. I just saw a nice patch of timber in here that I wanted to set in. And the trap is fired. I think we got something there. I mean, look at this nice habitat. There's some hemlocks here they didn't cut because their hemlock doesn't have much value. But there's all this down wood and stuff. It's a pretty cool little spot. Let's see if there's anything in there. Oh, I think I see white. That might be a weasel. Sweet. Oh yeah, we got a weasel. All right. Good, good, good. Oh, it's a nice one too. It's a big weasel, longtail. Look at that bugger. Awesome, 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 awesome. Sweet. You must have just caught him. He's still alive, barely. Wow. There. It is time for weasel activity. So we'll quick dispatch him, take a couple pictures, and move on. Guess that was my revenge for that weasel that messed up my truck here about an hour ago. So yeah, maybe we'll catch another one later on in the line. All right, we're at the end of this dead end road. I just checked one back there, had a sweet corridor there that I thought would be a good spot for a trap. Nothing in that one. This is at the end of the road. There's a bear bait here somewhere, and I set a trap right on the edge of it. I think it's a good fisher spot. I saw a track in the snow that looked like it might have been fisher when I set this up. I don't want to go to the end with the truck because I almost got stuck here the other day. But it ain't far in here. Yeah, that was kind of a mess the other day. Everything's so wet from this fall. There's my trap. I don't see anything. Nope, nothing yet. But it looks like maybe tracks right there. Possibly. Hard to tell because that snow melted and refroze, and everything's so hard now, nothing's really making much of a track. But their bait's still there inside. Everything's good. I'm pretty confident in this spot, so we'll see. Again, like I said, I don't know how this is all going to work out with this particular area, but the macro habitat area, not as good. But boy, I'm still in a pretty good spot compared to, relative to where I'm at. I have a feeling that this set will produce. You never know, but one of the things that I notice with fisher especially is if you can wait around for a long time, if you can keep tending traps, they will usually come back. If you've seen sign, or if you're placed like a bear bait, I mean, they run these long circuits, and sometimes it can be 3 weeks or more before they come back, but they will come back. And if your trap is there long enough, they'll come back and they'll hopefully show some interest in it, and hopefully be able to fit in that box and get caught. So it's all a game of hopefully and chances and odds, but if you're patient, usually you can catch a few fish that way. All right guys, it's getting dark, so I want to show you some habitat a little bit before I can't film it anymore because you won't see anything. This is kind of it's an intersection of the road system, and there's an old road that goes down here, and this goes down to a valley of a river. And from Onyx, looking at the aerial maps, it's like just an incredible looking habitat in that river bottom. So I mean, the elevation, again, like for marten in my area, I want to be 12 to 1500 feet is where I catch a lot of marten. All this country, the highest ground I'm at right now is like 850, 900 feet. So it's not ideal marten habitat, but even then I think I can pick up some marten here. So this spot, like you have this travel way here in this road, you have everything sloping down to the river. You got a lot of really good timber ground, undisturbed, uncut down in there. And then you got this major road here. It's kind of an edge where this is all pretty young forest and this is old forest. It's kind of a breaking point. And then there's a funnel here. There's a brook that comes down and crosses the road here. So I kind of just like went crazy on this funnel. I thought this is going to be pretty sweet. Now the challenge, of course, is once you get that general area figured out, is figuring out, deciding where to put the specific trap. And that has been a challenge. You know, it's I think about it a lot. I don't know if when I get it figured out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think I have it figured out, usually I don't. But there's so many different considerations. But what we're looking for is we get a funnel. What I like to do is, an old guy, Eric Martin, told me one time, is try to take a look. So first off, you want to take all the trees out of here. Pretend there are no trees here and just look at the ground and the terrain and read the ground without the trees. Then you layer the trees on it and figure out how the trees affect the animal travel ways, the habitat areas, and so on. And then once you have that figured out, then you start to look at these micro habitats. And I've kind of developed, sort of modified this based on what I've learned. But then you start looking at these micro areas that the animals are going to seek out and go to. And some might be little den spots. Sometimes it's like little humps and hills. Sometimes it's, you know, just a highly visible spot. Sometimes it's a shaded area surrounded by a couple of little openings. It just all depends. And then when I get that spot figured out, then I'm trying to decide, okay, where am I going to put it so no one's going to see it from the road? Because I don't want people driving by seeing my boxes. So it makes it all kind of a little bit complex. But I decided on this little spot here where the brook comes down in between the intersection of the two roads. For better or worse, you get this nice little valley here and good timbered draw. Oh, the other thing we're looking at is the wind too. What direction the wind is blowing. Nothing there. I can smell my lure really good. So yeah, I think that'll be a decent set. Hopefully something comes by. Then we're looking at the prevailing wind and where the animals are traveling relative to that wind and everything else. So it is 1,000 different things going on and trying to just figure out the right spots to set them. And sometimes I wish I'd just turn the brain off and just go throw boxes in the woods, because that's fun too. But I always like to figure out what works, you know. So it's getting dark, and I think I'm only gonna have a couple more sets I can check without the headlight, and then we'll be running in the dark. But it'll be fun. Kind of anticipating, hopefully we'll catch one marten or fisher. We got a weasel so far. Yeah, that'd be good if we caught one of something else. Be happy with that. All right, we're getting dark, but I think I caught something here. This might be the last set we can check before dark. There's a little brook here. We're getting towards the end of this road. Kind of an open hardwood area. Oh, I see a track. There's a track going through the snow right there. I saw something dark in the trap, but I couldn't tell exactly what it was. So we'll get it opened up and see. Boy, this is nice. This is nice. What do you think, guys? Fisher, marten? I really don't know. Oh, fisher! I see the tail. Look at that. I should have gone back to this side. Make sure he's dead. Wow, that is great. Awesome. All right. Good start on get our first fisher of this line. Sweet. Blacktail hanging from the box. It just it has not gotten old yet. Pretty awesome. Okay. Smells good. Let's see. Small fisher, just a little one. That's dark. Nice dark one. Look at that. Sweet. I think it looks like the fur is pretty wet, so we must have caught it when that warmed up. It's frozen now. The fur got wet and then everything froze. So I bet we caught it during that warm spell. It happened to me moving through. It must have been what made those tracks there, sunk in the snow. Cool, man. Fish. This had fish in it. And this is a strong smelling fish. It really emits a lot of odor, even when it's cold. Sweet, man. That's great. Exciting. This trap is one of those Russ Carman traps for guys that have been following along for a while. I bought traps that Russ Carman had used for mink in Pennsylvania, used on my line, and had been a lot of fun trapping along with old Russ, even though he doesn't know it. Okay. What's that? Oh. Looks like some of the bait had already been pulled out. Maybe pulled out the box a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna set this. I'm gonna move this. When I set this box here, it's set into the snow and the box is really well anchored, but it's snow is melted now, so not so much. I'm gonna set it right there because the next time we get a fisher coming in here or a marten or something, I want them to be able to work that box without tipping it or moving it around. Sweet, guys. All right. We'll take it. Yes, guys, that clock is correct. Just a little bit after 4, and it is just about pitch dark. We're at the end of another dead-end road. I am a dead-end road trapper. A lot of guys like to run loops. I like the dead-end roads. I find myself hitting a lot of these, and I got to keep going back and forth, but I hit a lot of habitat that has no roads and doesn't get cut or pressured nearly as much. There's something in this trap, guys. And it looks pretty big. There's a big white box there. See if I can. That's as bright as I get. Look at that fisher. Holy smokes. Wow. Sweet. Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Sweet. I gotta get a picture of that, man. It must be a fairly decent sized fisher. I can't tell. It's dead. He's been dead for a long time. Froze pretty hard. All right. Oh, beautiful spot. If this was higher elevation, deeper in the woods, I'd have said this is a marten spot. But I'm content with Fisher, man. I knew this was going to be more Fisher country than marten. Still think we'll pick a couple marten up, but I'll take this every day of the week. Sweet. Oh, that's a big Fisher. Yeah, that's a big one. Holy smokes, yeah, good. How am I going to get it out of here? Let's see which way we want to go with this. He's not frozen solid, so I think I can push him out through the 4-inch hole, maybe. I don't want to ruin the fur, though. Okay, let's see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. Oh, sweet. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful. Wow, what a beautiful fur, man. That is a nice one. That is a male. That's a male Fisher. It's probably a juvenile male. A big male might not fit into this box. I think the other one we caught might have been a female. I'm not sure. It's frozen solid, so I can't quite tell. Sweet. Awesome. Okay. Get to reset this trap. It's not frozen to the trap. Man, that was good. Just like that, we're back in business. Maybe catch something else. This is moving a little more than I'd like it to, too. That's a heavy Fisher. There. That's a little more stable. Sweet. All right, guys. Wonderful. This is a really cool little spot. You can't see it very well in the dark, but all right. Take this guy back to the truck. We got 2 more sets on this road system in very similar type of habitat. Then it's back to the main road and onto another road system. Ooh, that's exciting. 2 Fishers already. I think we've only checked, a dozen traps. Of course, you go on runs. You go on good runs and bad runs. Sweet. Well, we got a stolen bait. This is just a couple of traps after the one we caught the Fisher on. It looks like it was something big. Could have been maybe a marten, but I doubted it. I think it was likely Fisher because it moved the box around pretty substantially. Yeah, it's a wet spot here. So the trap is fired off and you see the box is all off kilter. So yeah, cleaned completely out. So Fisher could have moved the box around trying to get in, fired off the trap, and then ended up getting in to steal the bait. I don't know, maybe it was the same Fisher I just caught. Maybe not. Maybe Here's a new one. Hope you guys can see me. So, what do I do about that? I don't know. I do not know. Well, I guess I could do one thing. Change the angle of my connie pan just a little bit. Sometimes the fisher can do is he can grab the fisher can come on. Sorry guys. Sometimes he can stick his face in, head in, and grab the bait, and he doesn't step on the connie pan because he's a lot bigger than the marten, and so he doesn't fire the trap. So sometimes in that case, I don't want to restrict the opening much, but I may up the pan. Like, see, I put the pan up at a little higher angle, and that'll mean his chin is going to have to brush that next time he reaches in. Yeah, so we'll see how that works. Be hard to, unless they fired the trap from the outside of the box. If they fire the trap from the outside of the box, there isn't really a lot you could do to prevent that. I should have brought my GoPro head mount, so I could just strap that on my head and you can watch me. Alright, good, we're reset. And we're back trapping. Hopefully that one comes back, gets caught. So I feel like I have to explain this. Notice I walked in there, checked the trap, and I came back out to the truck to get my bait. And I get a question, I don't think much about this, but someone always comments on that every time on one of my videos, like, why don't you bring your bait out when you go check the trap? Well, the reason is that was like my 13th set, right? And I only had one stolen bait out of 13 sets. So I was 75 feet from the truck. It was nothing to go back to the truck and grab a chunk of bait. But if I brought my bait into every set, I would have had a dozen sets that I went into, and I carried a bucket of bait or a chunk of bait for no reason. I lost a free hand to balance running through the bushes and jumping over the ditch, over the banks and stuff. And, you know, it really, if you just see the spots where I got to change the bait, then maybe you think, well, you're an idiot. You should be, you really ought to be taking your bait in your trap. But I'd be crazy to do that because it's just not efficient. And for the few times I need it, it's not bad to go back to the truck. I don't remember exactly where this trap is. I can smell it. I can smell it. Oh, I wouldn't make a very good predator because I can smell my lure, but I can't pinpoint where it's coming from. It's just a kind of a broad odor. Oh, there's the box. Hey, all right. There's the box, and the trap is fired off. No tail sticking out of the back of it, though. Let's see. Oh, Weasel. I was kind of hoping to be a marten. I'll take a Weasel. Get on. Ugh. Yikes. That is a frozen. Weasel's frozen right to the bottom. of the box. Unfortunately, that fur is not going to be worth anything anyway. It's all matted down and gross. But we'll take a better look at him. Just a little short-tailed weasel. Got caught in that. They must have been moving in that rain, because a bunch of them got caught. And their fur is wet. Got caught during that wet period. Well, we're moving along through the night, and it's been pretty slow. We checked 12 or 15 sets with absolutely nothing. I see this one's fired off, and I see a little white in the box. So we're getting revenge on the weasels. That weasel tried to bust up my truck and shut me down, and got him, and now we're getting more, getting his friends. Oh, sweet, sweet. Nice. Nice little weasel. Not very big, but the fur is really good on this one, and nice and clean, which is good. Sweet. Well, just a couple more sets to go on the last two for the night. We've had a pretty slow stretch here. Haven't caught much of anything. But you get that. That's to be expected. And one of the interesting things to me is that we have not caught a single marten yet. We picked up a couple of fisher, but I guess I kind of expected that, not being in real marten country here, but still thought we'd maybe pick one up. So nothing here this set. All right, we'll go and check the last one just down the road here. And this is where I think this weekend, I believe I'm gonna try to come out and start where I left off here and kind of extend the line further and put some more sets out. So the next check I'll have more sets to check and better odds of catching. All right, guys, just checked the last trap of the day, and that's it. We picked up a couple fisher and some weasels. It was a pretty nice check. Here's a really nice fisher that we caught. Got another fisher here. A big old long-tailed weasel. A couple of short tails. And this bugger from my house who almost kept us from checking traps, he got himself caught in the serpentine belt on the truck and tore it right off and sacrificed himself in the process. But we got our revenge on the Weasel this time around. All right, guys, thank you for following along. I look forward to having you on for another trapline check, and hopefully we'll have some more catches in the future. Cool thing is, since I'm not way out in the big woods, I don't have a 2-hour drive back home, I'll probably catch my kids before they go to bed. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you down along the line. Boy, it's been a lot of up and down so far in the trap line, breaking down with the truck and things going wrong and a little bit of disappointment, all that stuff. We haven't got stuck yet. That'll probably come here pretty soon. But yeah, I've kind of been through a lot of it the past few years. There's this James McMurtry song. He's got a line in there. It says, "I'm 40 years old now, man, I don't care. All I want now is just a comfortable chair." And I turned 40 this month, and I can feel that. I can feel that just want to sit down and have that comfortable chair and just kind of chill out. But I'm not ready for that yet. Not ready to sit down. I'm having fun running around in the woods, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Whether it's, you know, full speed ahead or maybe a little bit limited in terms of what I can afford the time and money and physical effort to do. What this old beat up truck is going to take me through, but we're going to keep on having fun. Well, we're back checking traps this morning. It's only been 3 days since our last check, but it's a Sunday. I got to get it done before work. We got to check every 5 days, so just kind of resetting the check here, and who knows, we may pick something up. I'm probably gonna set a few more sets. We're looking at 3 to 7 inches of snow coming tonight and tomorrow, and if we get 3, not a big deal. If we get 7, it might be a little more challenging, and we might have to start thinking about snowmobile. But yeah, you never know really. When these storms oftentimes are pretty unpredictable until they're right on top of you. All right, we're at set number 2. We got a fired off trap here. It's a mess in the woods today. Yesterday it just kind of had this wet snow that lasted all day long and never really amounted to much, but it made quite a mess. Probably another weasel. We caught a weasel at this trap a few days ago, the last check. I'm guessing we got another one. Ooh. Yep, it's a weasel. Shoot. Nice. Oh, pretty nice looking weasel too. About the same size as the last one we caught here. So, good. I'm kind of off my game today. I was planning to re-lure all these sets, but I forgot the lure in the trapping shed. So I'm just gonna keep just gonna reset them and go with no lure. You can catch fur with no lure, and I still can smell some of my long distance call. But we'll be like 2 weeks by the next check. We'll be 2 weeks without re-lure. Usually I like to freshen it up by then, but you can catch fur without lure. We're back to this bear bait spot where I really think I thought I was going to catch a fisher, but you a lot of times you don't catch anything in don't catch what you think you're gonna catch in particular spots. It can be funny. But I think I saw a weasel track. So it looks like it's really faint, hard to pick up on now, but there it looked like a set of weasel tracks coming this direction. So we'll see. Weasel will be better than nothing. Yep, trap's fired off. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it is. That's that weasel. All right. Oh, he was in the process of pulling the bait out because the bait was further out down the box. So he had pulled the bait partially out and got caught. Guess he finally stepped on the conny pan. It's a nice weasel, good size. Sweet. Well, I was wanting to re-lure a bunch of these sets, but after I started visiting several of them, I'm kind of like, what do I do? I really didn't need to re-lure them. The lure is still there and still working, still emitting smell. This long distance call, guys, is just it's such a durable lure with the grease base that it's still working even after that rain and snow and freeze and thaw. So I'm just opening it up a little bit and smearing the center around a little more, but yeah, it's still working. Nothing at this set. Check inside some of these. One of them, a weasel, is really working at it and pulled the bait under the conny pan, so you gotta watch for that. So here's where I had my long distance call on this set, and that's been setting out in the rain and snow, and it still smells. You're not gonna get, the strong skunk smell always goes away after a couple days, just because it's so volatile. It lasts longer with this lure than most other lures you're going to use. I'm just going to put that right in front of the box. But you still have a mild skunk smell, and the nice thing with this lure is there's 5 other ingredients other than skunk that are still slowly, they're not as volatile and they're still working the whole season. So yeah, it's pretty good. But the sets, the new sets I'm gonna make, I'm not gonna have any lure because I forgot lure. So we'll just have to go with those. Whatever I make, I may not make very many, but we'll just go without lure for a while. It's gonna be, I like lure because it's gonna be pretty cold, single digits at night through the week, and low 20s during the day for the highs. But yeah, we'll still function, and we'll just re-lure them when we go and check the sets. Or won't re-lure when we lure them for the first time. When we go check the sets, we'll add lure to them. Boy, it's another one of those dark, gloomy days here in northern Maine. It's been a summer of gloom. Tons and tons of rain all summer long. Now we're getting, late fall, early winter. Well, we're in winter now, and it's just we still have these really cloudy days, kind of wishing for the sun to come out. So this place, the other day we had a stolen bait here and a fired trap, so I thought I'd turn the camera on just in case whatever it was came back. This is one of the spots I would think we'd have a good chance at marten, but it's turning out this is not really marten country. I kind of knew we wouldn't see many marten here, but we've got 0 so far. Fishers and weasels. Let's see. Nope. Looks like nothing has come back to this set yet. Oh, yeah, it is. Looks like something did come, but it looks like weasel this time. Last time, I think it was something bigger because the box was all moved and knocked over, but I think this is a weasel. So I've been trying a different type of wire for the closing these boxes. I had a lot of issues with the wires breaking over time, and that wire is not performing very well, so I gotta try another one. Okay, so yeah, that was, looks like weasel's been in there eating on that. I think we'll just let it be. Eventually they usually do fire the trap. Yeah, that wire is more brittle than I expected. Okay. Well, I got a trap just over the bank here, and it is fired off. I haven't looked inside to see if we got anything, but let's go check it out. It's probably a weasel. This is kind of a weasel-like area, but you never know. This has been quite a weasel trap line. Let's see. Oh! Hey! Hey! We may have our first marten in this country. Wow! Whew. I can smell the lure. It's strong. I think that's looks like a marten. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a mink. Looks like a marten though. That would be kind of exciting. I was starting to wonder if marten existed here. Oh yeah, woo! All right, just a little marten, boy. Wow, that is a different looking marten. That is weird. It's small and it's got a really dark color to it with some light hairs. Boy, that is really different. No kidding. Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever caught one that looks quite like that. Cool, right on. Hey, you never know. Okay, we get another fired trap here. This one's right off the main road, just over the bank. Oh, there's white. We got another weasel, guys. This is weasel country, for sure. That's a big weasel. Wow. Right on. That is a big weasel. Look at that. Sweet, huh? Awesome. Right on. Loaded with fleas. Gross. All right, well, I knew this area wasn't going to be loaded with marten. I thought there'd be a few more fisher. It's hard to tell, really, because it's hard to see tracks in the snow, the way the snow has been so crusted and stuff. But hey, we're catching weasel, man. We're on a weasel trap line. Boy, the other day I was checking this spot in the dark at the end of this road. It's kind of a creepy sort of area in the dark, and there was remember, I'm closer to town now, and there was a plane in pitch black. There's a plane circling over top with the lights blinking. I see it a couple times as I was driving. I get to the end of this, and there's a plane up over, and I'm looking at that really dark spot is here, and I've never, you know, I never get spooked on anything like that, but I just kind of felt like a little looking around, watching my back a little bit. Anyway, let's go check this out. We got something in here. The good thing, interestingly, is that the weasel market has been improving a little bit, especially those long-tail weasels. Last spring, fur auction, fur harvesters, they did pretty well. I think, you know, some of them, the better ones, averaged like $8 or $10 in certain lots. And so these will be prime white weasels, and if I don't screw them up when I'm handling them, I might be able to get $6 or $8, maybe $10. So I thought I'd get a fisher here. Just a nice little finger of this wet spot, little finger of timber here. Some cut over areas that are kind of brushy around it. Pretty cool little spot. This little micro bank here. Yeah, I see white in there. Weasel. It's always cool walking up to a trap and seeing the springs out like that. You know, there's a pretty good chance you got something. Hey, there we go. Another weasel. That's a little smaller one, but we'll take it. Oh, I gotta do a better job cleaning my traps up. Some of them are getting a little rusted. I don't want to stain the fur too bad on them. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not bad. Sometimes you can get a little rust on the fur if the trap's got some on it. This is the weasel trigger. Local guy taught me how he sets his triggers. Good way to catch weasels. Good way to do it without using a connie pan. I like connie pans, but this is pretty cool. This works good. Okay. That set will be here and working for when the fisher comes along. We'll be ready for it. Well, I guess I made the decision on whether I'm going to set new traps today. I'm unable to get up this hill. And it's starting to get a little warmer. It's probably about 30, 32 degrees and cloudy and just terrible traction. And this area is not, I got a trap down there in the woods. I got a trap up this road. But I'm the only tracks on here since the last 2 or 3 snows. And so there's not much to grab onto between the top of the snow and the ground. And so I'm going to take a walk, probably about half a mile, to go and get this last trap, to check this last trap. And it appears that, you know, based on what the rest of this road's going to be, it's going to be just like this, steep and essentially no tracks on it. I think I'm going to call it. Oh, there's a set of tracks. It's a weasel track there. I'll call it for today after this set, and then just wait for things to set up and see how it goes this coming weekend. That is a marten track. I'm at the end of the road at my set. It doesn't look like I've got anything there. I don't think. Find out in a minute, but yeah, there's a marten in here. This is like the highest elevation I could get to make this set. Within walking distance of the road. It's a pretty cool spot. Still pretty low elevation relative to where I normally catch marten. Yeah, he never went to the set, I guess. We've got nothing here. The bait's still good. Boy, marten are kind of funny, huh? They especially here, the years like this year, there's just so much food out there available for them. They're just not all that hungry. Even, you know, I figured a little later in the season like this it'd be better, but it's been super warm for northern Maine. This has been warmer than we should be in early December. So I think this week it's really gonna cool off, and like something like that marten, it looked like it was chasing a rabbit track or something, going through here, probably hunting for mice and through here too. And it knows this bait's here. Just, I don't know, maybe it prefers a live meal, live fresh meal right now, because it just doesn't have any trouble. They're not having any trouble finding food, so they're kind of opportunistic. Okay, you know, we know that's there. We'll come and get it when we're hungry. I've seen that quite a lot. You get a cold snap, or you get a storm, and all of a sudden they beeline right to your trap, and right before a storm. Fishers a lot of times during a storm, and then after, if it clears off and gets cold, they'll just go right. You know, when you get into single digits, they'll go right to that bait. So, looking forward to that here for this coming week. I'll be checking this one in like 5 days. Look at that. Get some of that lure, just smear it a little bit. I've been putting a little bit near the front of the box for the colder weather. And we'll get, in 5 days from now, we'll come and check these, and we'll see how we do. All right, I'm gonna get back to the truck and we'll take a look at what we caught. Here's another quick peek. That's the squirrel track right there. Where's that marten track? Right here. So here's the marten track. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, let's see what we got running the line today. We got a marten, just a small marten, very interesting looking one, different colors. And then it was a Weasel Palooza. Weasel, 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 Weasel. So yeah, it was a decent run of the line. A little close-up view of these guys. 4 weasels and a marten. Not bad. Hey, I'd love to have the days when you run the line and catch 5 or 6 marten or 10 marten, which I had in one case one day in a past video. A couple of fisher, a few weasels here and there. Those are great days, but you can't always have those. Sometimes your seasons are a little harder some years than others, but just the way it is. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to have you on the Trapline. It's always good to be out in the woods, get a little exercise, have a little fun. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any more marten and fisher trapping videos for you. I got some other projects I may be transitioning into, so that's to be determined. But if I don't see you again on this Trapline, thank you so much for all the support. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you, and we'll catch you somewhere down the line.